You're watching Your View.
Thank you for joining us.
This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM.
SoCal Sports Talk.
Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Great friends, it is a Tuesday afternoon here on Kaplan and Crew. We are coming to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. Great blackjack, poker, table games, incredible food with Sammy's Restaurant and Bar, and all just 7 minutes south of downtown San Diego on the beautiful bay of Chula Vista. Along with Grande and the Brown Man, this is Kaplan and Crew. Our top story here on Monday afternoon, check that, Tuesday afternoon, was about Monday Night Football. So before we even get started, yesterday we've been arguing about Odell Beckham and the contribution that he will or will not make to the Rams. Frankly, just going to put this out there. If Robert Woods is not hurt last Friday, chances are Odell Beckham probably doesn't play at all last night. There really was no need. Bring him in, introduce him to his teammates, get him comfortable in his uniform, get his locker ready. Let the kid move back into LA because, he said he was happy to be home. Let him learn his teammates. Let him study some film. Let him watch a game. There probably was no need to play him last night if it's not for Robert Woods' injury. But Woods is out for the remainder of the season. Insert Odell Beckham. Here's what happened on yesterday's show. For those of you that are listening and watching, we all made predictions as to what was going to happen with Odell Beckham last night for Monday Night Football. Here's what was said on the airwaves yesterday. Play it.
You got to get that hate out your heart, big fella. You got to get that hate out your heart, man.
2 catches, 18 yards tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah.
Tonight? 7 catches, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. Book it. Talk to me nice, Odell. Let's dance.
Let's dance. Let's dance, Odell. Talk to me. Well, turns out 2 catches for 18 yards. The prediction by Grande was precisely the stat line for Odell. Talk to me. Dance with me. Whereas Browner's 7 catches, 140 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Browner, while Alex looks smart today and you look not as smart.
Most days.
Yeah, okay, all right. Bottom line is, Browner, at least they were trying. They were trying to get to that 7 catches, 140 yards with 2 touchdowns. They weren't?
No, they weren't. He got 3 targets.
Part of the game?
How can you get 7 catches with 3 targets? I thought that the deep pass to him was a dumb Matt Stafford play, where apparently Matt Stafford is going back to dumb Matt Stafford plays. That's 2 weeks in a row. When you don't play him at all in the second half, like, what are you trying? He, in my opinion, he's one of your best receivers. They had some guy out there from college I never even heard of that I didn't even know was on the team dropping passes. So whether Odell knows whatever routes you're trying to run, put him in a specific spot and say, hey, man, run these 3 routes. Like, he's smart enough to run routes. He's been running routes his whole life. I'm pretty sure if their coaching staff was up to snuff, they could have figured this out at halftime. But they didn't. They went with the regular situations that they run, and guys didn't perform.
Yeah, just be prepared. This is the Odell factor now.
Ain't no Odell factor.
It is.
So you think Sean McVay did a good job last night?
No, I don't think Sean McVay did a good job at all last night, and I don't think the team did a very good job last night. I think that the rest of the country is now calling them soft. I heard this morning, I saw it on Twitter. Kyle Brandt of what's the name of the morning show they do on the NFL Network?
Good Morning Football.
Yes, Kyle Brandt said this is so typical of LA. They got all the flash, they got all the stars, they got all the names, but they don't have any of the toughness that it takes. He literally said the Rams are soft. But, this is the Odell factor because, you already think he's the best receiver on the team, and now your blame goes to the coaching staff because they didn't know how to use him. Dude, they got him on Friday or Thursday. He hasn't practiced. He doesn't know the quarterback. He doesn't know the timing. He doesn't know the playbook, et cetera, et cetera. The only reason they rushed him into playing last night was very simply because Robert Woods was hurt. But now the Odell factor for me is this. It's not Odell's fault. Oh, it's the coaching staff's fault. It's the quarterback's fault. It's everybody else's fault because Odell is so much better than everybody else that even the coaches don't know how to use him.
So let me ask you a question. How come he was able to get in and get 3 targets and get 2 catches? What happened to those plays? They couldn't run those plays again?
Well, the first play was about a 2-yard down and out.
Mm-hmm.
And the second target that I can remember was the long touchdown or the long interception. Alex, play the video. This is so ridiculous. I mean, to me, this looks like Matthew Stafford trying to force a ball to Odell. Let's prove to everybody that we've got him now, so we're going to use him. So Stafford tries to go deep. Odell either doesn't know the play, doesn't know the pattern, stops on it, and Stafford throws the ball probably 6, 7, 8 yards away from where Odell is. And Odell, really
Nice
good
tackle.
tackle. That is the best play of the game.
So you clearly haven't seen a lot of Matt Stafford, because that
What do
ain't
you
no that's Matt Stafford.
So wait, that's not Odell stopping on the pattern?
Of course, it's Odell stopping on the pattern, but Matt Stafford couldn't have thrown the ball somewhere else.
You don't think that they were
Just
trying
saying
to
that
force
you wanted him to
yeah,
get
you
him the
don't- You don't
ball.
think that they were trying to get him the ball? Like, hey, let's show everybody that we've got Odell now, and we're going to use him. We're going to get him the ball. So they tried to go deep. Odell either doesn't know the pattern
Right.
or stops on it. And Stafford, who, listen, I think Alex has made a good point. Matthew Stafford is becoming the Matthew Stafford that he's always been in Detroit, but everybody celebrated him through the first 6, 7, 8 games. Even myself, I was going, oh, dude, he's better than advertised. And now we're starting to see Matthew Stafford under pressure, and we're starting to see Matthew Stafford against, I guess, what are decent teams. I mean, Tennessee's good. I don't think San Francisco's very good.
That's what I just said. I literally just said that. That's the Detroit Matthew Stafford. That's what that throw was.
Right.
I've seen him do that 50 times
I
against
think
the Bears.
that's why Browner. I think listen, I understand that you got your new talking point for the Rams for the season, and that's cute and all. But the reality is,
What's the talking
here's
point?
the prop. That something about OBJ, which is literally not the story from this game. Like you want to buy into that? Go for it.
He asked me a question. I'm
Just-
answering his
no, no.
question. What are you talking about?
But you're saying
Talking
you
point.
said the reason the Rams lost is because they didn't get the ball to OBJ.
I didn't say that. When did you hear me say that?
You said in the first segment.
I never said that.
The first segment.
I never said that.
Yes, you did.
Wow.
Yes, you did.
I did not say that's
What
why
did
they
you
lost.
say? Okay, what did you say?
We were talking about Odell Beckham not getting 7 catches. I said Sean McVay did not do his job getting the ball to Odell. They got ran through. They were soft. I didn't say they lost because they didn't throw the ball to Odell. I didn't say that. I agree with Scott.
Rewind the tape.
If Woods
Rewind
wouldn't
the
have got
tape.
hurt, he wouldn't have played.
So had they gotten the ball to Odell more last night, they would have had a better chance of winning, though.
There were plays in the first half of that game. One of them was highlighted by the Monday Night Crew of how Cooper Kupp got wide open because 2 guys were guarding Odell. All I'm saying is if you are able to run him out there for, I think they had 14 snaps up until the point where they had ran that graphic. It was 14 snaps. He had played with 3 targets. They were showing plays where because Odell's on the field, these other things are opening up. So run those plays. I'm not saying throw it to him, but if you got them, use them. They're not to have them sitting on the sideline. Who does that help?
They
Hard
are
to
gonna-
use them,
they
though.
are gonna
Hard to use them without having any practice
The
time.
only routes that he was ready to run were straight yesterday. That's it. That's why he's in play. Like wait till after their bye week when he has 2 weeks of preparation. He'll be more part
So
of it.
how can Cam Newton come in?
Overall, because Cam played 5 plays too, dude. He just happened to score 2 touchdowns on the 1 yard
Right.
line.
I mean, you ask
he
Cam.
didn't play all game.
You ask Cam Newton to just take the ball from
He
center
ran it
and
in.
run, and then you asked him to make one throw. I mean, I think
They
it's
asked Cam. They asked Cam what plays work for you. Cam gave them plays where he could be successful. That what I'm saying is the Carolina Panthers coaching staff put Cam in a position to be successful. All I'm saying from a Rams perspective is the Rams did not do that for Odell Beckham Jr.
Well-
they did not lose because they didn't throw him the ball.
Well-
What I'm saying is they didn't put him in a position to use him as best they possibly could. They abandoned the entire thing in the second half.
Well, let me tell you where I think the game was actually really lost, though. And listen, I'm going to tell you right now that I was watching this game, and it's getting late into the second quarter, about 18 seconds remaining in the second quarter. It's 4th down. You're down 21-7 was the score. And you guys know I have this thing about kicking short field goals on the road. When you are a road team in the NFL, more often than not, field goals don't win you games. Touchdowns are what are required to win you games. So San Francisco's up 21-7. The Rams have 18 seconds to go. And I'm screaming, go for it, go for it. And now conventional wisdom says, no, you take your 3 points, you go to halftime, you're down 21-10, and that's what you do. You take your points. Here's what the Rams decided to do on 4th down with 18 seconds remaining. Rather than using their quarterback, who they had to have this quarterback, rather than using Cooper Kupp, who's got these Jerry Rice type stats, Tyler Higbee, who had a rough night to be sure, or even Odell Beckham for that matter, rather than the Rams lining up on 4th down and saying, look, we're down 2 touchdowns. Our best chance is to either score a touchdown and be down by 7 at the half, pick up the 1st down, whatever the case may be. Kicking a field goal at that moment was the wrong idea, and the Rams knew it. So here's what the Rams decided to do. Watch this play. Let's play it for everybody that's watching. Line up for a field goal, fake the field goal, have the punter roll out, hit the underneath man, and fall 7 yards short of a 1st down. Who would you rather have throw the football? Matthew Stafford, your quarterback, or Johnny Hecker, your punter? Everybody knew that the Rams could not just settle for 3, and they lined up and gave you this ridiculous fake field goal. That, to me, that one play at the end of the 1st half, game over, game, set, match. That's my opinion.
I think you could point to a million different things, but at the end of the day, Stafford is not very good against good teams. His receivers did not help him at all yesterday. I think it was 6 drops total, like in clutch situations too, like open touchdowns by Van Jefferson. Like Peyton Manning almost had a spasm on the Manning cast when he dropped that one. Higbee was awful yesterday, and I think the loss of Robert Woods cannot be overstated. Like what he does in the run game will never show up on a box score ever. And how many rushing yards did they have yesterday? 50 as a team?
52.
That is the biggest loss, because I understand like what people want to say about OBJ and where he fits. He would have not played. He would have played. Listen, OBJ is never going to be asked to do what Robert Woods did. They had another receiver in there that they asked him to do what Robert. I don't even know. I've never even heard of him until yesterday. And he's not going to be what Robert Woods is. That's a huge loss for this team. And if your receivers are going to be dropping balls and Stafford going to be throwing bonehead interceptions, you think you're going to win games? I don't care who's playing. You're not going to win games that way.
And Browner, your point about McVay, let's put this up on the screen for everybody that's watching. And listen, again, all of you guys who are listening on 1090, so happy to have you here. Those of you who are watching on YouTube, you're getting to see all of this in addition to hearing it all. And for those of you that are watching on television tonight, I would just say this to you. Come to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Kaplan and Crew, so you can get the full experience. But here's McVay. Put this up on the screen, Alex, the graphic about McVay versus good teams and about trailing at halftime. Go ahead and take us through this if you don't mind, Grande.
So far this year, the Rams are 1-2 versus winning teams. Obviously, they beat the Bucs, lost, got destroyed by the Titans, and got destroyed by the 49ers.
Who I don't think are even a winning team, are they?
The Cardinals. They lost to the Cardinals.
Right. And when they are under his entire tenure with the Rams, when they trail at the half, they are 6-18. This season, their 7 wins have come against teams whose their record is a combined 21, 42, and 1.
Yep. So the Rams have looked really good in the standings, but if you go back and you look at who they've played, I told you there were 3 weeks where they were playing a preseason. They had Detroit. I'm trying to remember who else they played along the way that was also really bad. Houston. So they've played like this very weak schedule. And when you're playing a division opponent on the road, you don't kick field goals. You go for touchdowns. You don't fake field goals and have your punter throw the ball when you've got $100+ million quarterback that you absolutely had to have. Let's go to the postgame. Let's hear what Sean McVay had to say in the postgame press conference. Here it is. Let's listen in.
Some of them concentration lapses, guys just not making plays that they're accustomed to, but certainly it was very uncharacteristic for a lot of guys. And it wasn't just one guy in particular. It was a handful of different guys. And so everybody had a hand in this tonight, and that's where we got to look at it ourselves, look inwardly first and foremost, and then be able to move forward accordingly, because I choose to believe that these last couple weeks are not who we are. I refuse to believe that, even though, you know what, you're only as good as your last game. These last 2 weeks have certainly been humbling. But like I said, you know, we're going to look at ourselves. I think it's good for our guys to be able to take a step back, be able to get away a little bit. I know that, there'll be some things in the background that I'm going to make sure that I'm doing to be able to, have some solutions when we come back and attack this thing the right way for these last 7 games.
All right.
I will give him credit. I will give him credit for that press conference and saying this one thing. I do think they had a bad night catching the ball. I will agree. That usually doesn't happen. They have a bunch of sure-handed guys who usually make catches. Their defense has been ran through 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row. And the 49ers always seem to run through them. And the Titans just out-tough them at the defensive line in the trenches. So maybe that is who you are. Maybe that is. Maybe the word around the league now is you can be beat up at the defensive line. Yes, you have Von Miller. Yeah, you have Leonard Floyd. Yeah, you have Aaron Donald. But that hasn't seemed to stop
Got
guys
pass
from running you
rushers.
over.
Right. Pass rushers, not run
Yeah,
stoppers.
they got pass
Yep.
rushers.
Yeah.
Dude, name one linebacker on the Rams right now.
Oh, dude. Couldn't do it.
They just traded away probably one of their best ones
Yeah.
to clear cap space to then go spend on Odell Beckham.
Mm-hmm.
Or Von Miller. It made no sense. Like, I don't understand what Les Snead was doing. Like, because you didn't need what you brought in. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not that it's not nice to have a Von Miller or a Odell Beckham. Of course, it's nice, but did you really need it? No. You need some linebackers. You need some runs. Who's your safety? Who's coming in to help on the run? You got Jalen Ramsey, who's not a big tackler. The guy's a great cover guy. And you got Aaron Donald, who's like a great pass rusher, but he's not going to really block up by himself on the whole. You got Leonard Floyd, who's a pass rusher. Von Miller's a pass rusher. You got no run help whatsoever. I don't know what Les Snead was thinking.
Well, that's what. And listen, I was saying this to you last week about Odell Beckham. It's a nice piece to have, and it turned into a lucky signing, giving the Robert Woods injury. But I'll take offensive linemen and defensive linemen all day if I'm going to try and improve a football team. Now, hard to find those kinds of guys in the middle of a season, to be sure. All right, hold on one second, because there's a lot more we want to get to, and I really want to get into. I want to get into Phillip Rivers joining the Manning cast. It was one of my favorite parts of the entire broadcast, and we'll get there in just a minute. I do want to remind everybody, though, about the 50% savings that you can get at iThriveMD, ithrivemd.com/Kaplan, because that's the landing page that we use, and they track to see how much traffic comes their way. So for everybody that's listening and watching, ithrivemd.com/Kaplan. And here's the phone number, 858-240-1497, 858-240-1497. I actually got a message from one of our longtime listeners, a guy by the name of Johnny Mack. I'll just kind of leave it at that. He said, hey, this was yesterday. He's like, I'm going in to iThriveMD. He's like, and I want to, take advantage of this special. And so I said, hey, tell them, please, that you're hearing about them on the show. So he sends me a message this morning, and he said, let me tell you, it was great at iThriveMD. Easy peasy. These are his words. Walked in, was greeted nicely. Within 5 minutes, I was in a treatment room. The doc came in, put me at ease with the whole process. He was a really cool guy, which is not something I'm used to. He's like, I was in and out quickly. It was a very easy process, and I highly recommend iThriveMD. This is from one of our listeners. And I asked him, did you get testosterone? Did you get peptides, NAD injections? What doctor? And he said, I got testosterone for my first visit. Peptides are next. Young doctor in his 30s. Very cool. And he actually said to me, he goes, and if you want to use my name, feel free to use my name. I'm just using a piece of it. But listen, guys, $289 a month for testosterone treatments, but now only $145 for your first 3 months. Okay. $289 is, oh my God, I'm not feeling well. I'm getting flabby. I'm dealing with erectile dysfunction, or I just don't have a strong libido. I'm depressed. My brain is foggy. Okay. Then you come in and get your testosterone levels checked. You find out that they're low. They say, okay, let's start a treatment of testosterone. And now you can get 50% off from $289 to $145 for your first 3 months. Be like my guy, Johnny Mack, and come on in. 858-240-1497, 858-240-1497. This deal ends at Thanksgiving. And I'll just tell you guys that next week for Thanksgiving week, we're only on the air Monday and Tuesday. We'll take Wednesday off. We'll take Thursday, Thanksgiving Day off, and we'll take Friday off. So you got to try and make an appointment now if you're going to get these savings of 50% off. ithrivemd.com/Kaplan, 858-240-1497. All right, Alex, we've taken a look at some of what Sean McVay had to say.
Yeah.
And even though he only was targeted 3 times and he only played 15 plays and he only had 2 catches for 18 yards, Odell Beckham, 2 catches, 18 yards.
Got it.
Just specifically and precisely what you predicted yesterday. Brilliant job by you.
Thank you.
Let's hear what Odell had to say after the game.
I was excited. I was, felt like I was ready for the moment. I feel like I've been through so much, and God has put me in this position for that exact moment, and it just wasn't our night. Like, there's really no way around it. It just wasn't our night. All 3 phases of the game, they ran the ball well. They stopped us while we were on offense, and they just beat us.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it telling? Yesterday you were asking a question: who's the best team in the AFC? Who's the best team in the NFC? when we were having the NFC conversation before yesterday's game, with the additions of Von Miller and Odell Beckham, not one of us uttered the Rams. None of the three of us.
Nope.
And none of us would definitely say it now. There was always something about this team that none of the three of us bought into, regardless of the record. And I think a lot of it's getting exposed the last 2 weeks.
Listen, they can't run the ball, which means they can't control the clock, and they can't stop the run, which means they can't get off the field.
I would say they bail on the run. I wouldn't say they can't run. I say they bail on it. Like they had 5 yards to carry last night. They just didn't keep doing. They didn't keep doing it because they got down
So far behind.
Yeah.
You're down 21-7 with 18 seconds to go in the half, and you're in scoring position. Again, conventional wisdom, you take the 3 points. If you're going for the win, you can't play Norv Turner. You've got to play, I hate to say it like this, Brandon Staley. I mean, you just got to.
How about that? Sorry.
How about
that field goal to make it 31-10?
Oh, dude.
That made no sense.
That was also ridiculous. It's 31-7. Let's kick the field goal here, and then we'll only be down by 3 touchdowns. All right, a lot more to come, including what happened with Phillip Rivers on the Manning cast. Coming back in the 7 Mile Casino Studios here on Kaplan.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio.
SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 in your view, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Pete Gray here, inviting you to catch my show, Let's Talk Hookup, every Saturday and Sunday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Time. For over 30 years, we've been the voice of the fishing community for Southern California, and so glad to be back on the big stick.
The all-new and mightier 1090.
These are challenging times for our community.
The San Diego Food Bank and our North County Food Bank chapter are here if you need help. We have hundreds of locations throughout the county where you can get help with food.
We have food.
It's okay to ask for help.
Visit one of our drive-through and walk-up locations.
We can also help you sign up for Catfish.
If you need help or if you can help, visit SanDiegoFoodBank.org.
Watch your San Diego State Aztecs take on the Cal State Fullerton Titans. December 8th at 7 p.m., live from the Viejas Arena.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Great googly moogly.
Oh, yeah. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more. Just off I-8 in El Cajon.
Up to 30% of COVID-19 patients become long haulers with persistent symptoms months after the infection.
What I've been finding with my patients is that it's taking up to 3 to 6 months for them to recover their endurance, exercise capacity, and get them back to work or to their usual activities of daily living.
What I wasn't able to do was the basic needs, like brush your teeth, take a shower, because of the shortness of breath, the tightness in my chest.
The symptoms that concern me the most, the shortness of breath. So restrictive. You know, you go through and you just take for granted that, you know, you're gonna breathe. And when that gets taken away, it's a scary thought. Unfortunately, I'm 6 months out now from my diagnosis, and I'm still suffering from several of the symptoms.
My experience with the patients I've sent to La Mesa Rehab has been extremely positive. The patients come back with good reports, and when I see them in the office, their exercise capacity has improved dramatically.
I'm getting there because of La Mesa Rehab.
To be homeless means that you've lost your community. East County Transitional Living Center, also known as ECTLC, is a community where we take homeless people off the streets and bring them into our community. We serve a little over 400 people, men, women, and children every day, who were formerly homeless and now are in our residential programs. We work them through the program, we get them jobs, we get them back into life. We teach them basic things, hygiene, when to get up in the morning, how to do a 40-hour week. What we do here is we give them the opportunity for on-the-job experience. In their work therapy training, they're learning how to report to a supervisor, how to become a supervisor, how to be a good employee. You don't want to enable a homeless person to remain homeless, which means go feed them. So if you're out there and you see a homeless person and you want to try to help them, give to your local charity.
We're here every day, 24/7.
Giving you only the finest handcrafted sports talk programming you're going to find anywhere. And we never stop.
Fanatic is such a mean word.
We prefer committed. This is the Mightier 1090 AM.
Food insecurity is defined as not having sufficient resources to buy food either for yourself or for your family. Folks who are food insecure struggle with not having enough food to eat because maybe they lost their jobs. It is important to not just look at one person as being food insecure, but really looking at them as it could be anyone. The San Diego Food Bank has been around for over 40 years. Our job is to help procure food for San Diego County residents to make sure that no one is going to bed hungry. Accessing food from the San Diego Food Bank is very simple. A lot of our distributions right now are operating as drive-through distributions, so they are safe to attend if you are concerned with getting out of your vehicle and walking into a food pantry. The San Diego Food Bank needs your continued support. Please visit our website at sandiegofoodbank.org, and there you will see all of the different ways that you too can get involved.
There's a difference between just getting there and enjoying the journey. At Team Mazda of El Cajon, we put you in the driver's seat of the best cars around. From our stylish crossover SUVs to our classic sedans and sports cars. At Team Mazda of El Cajon, your good credit and trade-in can turn into the Mazda of your dreams. Start enjoying your drive with a new Mazda today. Visit Team Mazda of El Cajon.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Orange County Soccer Club is headed back to the Western Conference Finals. OCSC outlasted the Oakland Roots 6-5 in sudden death penalty kicks on Saturday in the semis after 120 minutes of scoreless soccer. It was none other than Ronaldo Damus that scored the deciding goal in penalty kicks. Now that deciding goal did come with some drama. Damus' shot was blocked, but it was ruled that Oakland goalkeeper Paul Blanchett had come off his line prior to Damus making contact with the ball, and Damus got the retake. The win was OCSC's 7th win in a row. Through those 7 wins, they have only allowed 1 goal from open play. OCSC will host the Western Conference Championship against San Antonio FC on Saturday. It is San Antonio's first conference final in club history.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Still on his feet, Jared Williams. Swift is in the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats. He's in the 40. Is he going to go? Holds it in. What a catch. Big return left sideline. Off to the races. He flipped the defenders into the end zone. He's got a man. Pass it out. Wildcats. That was pretty.
Game Time High School Football on Your View is brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more. Just off I-8 in El Cajon. Watch your San Diego State Aztecs take on the Cal State Fullerton Titans. December 8th at 7 p.m. live from the Viejas Arena.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the Mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio.
SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 and Your View. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Hey, great friends. This is Kaplan and Crew along with Grande and the Brown Man, and we welcome you back inside the 7 Mile Casino studios, 7milecasino.com. And on Saturdays and Sundays, that brunch from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. with Sammy's Restaurant and Bar. Fantastic. What a place to watch college games, NFL games, play poker, blackjack in a smoke-free environment in just 7 minutes from downtown San Diego. 7 Mile Casino. We appreciate all of your support, guys, and we look forward to seeing you on the Great Friends Cruise coming up on December 11th aboard the Yacht America and Next Level Sailing. Shout out Captain Fathom. Shout out Captain Troy Sears. Can't wait to bring all the great friends and all of our sponsors together on December 11th. As a matter of fact, Browner, how's that going? How's the planning going for that cruise?
Plan is going good, man. The only thing we need to do now is figure out the food situation. That's it. We got to get our food right.
Yeah. You know what we should maybe consider doing? I talked to Brian Bushfield down at westcoastbbqshop.com. By the way, I still am getting messages from people that went down to West Coast BBQ over the weekend down in Chula Vista, and they watched all of the pit masters do a whole bunch of like Thanksgiving kind of stuff, and people were buying accessories and rubs and sauces and stuff. And I got a lot of great feedback from you being down there this past weekend, Brown. But we were talking about, maybe you should talk to Captain Fathom about this. Can we have Brian bring a big green egg and a grill and put it on the Yacht America, and he could be grilling up for everybody while we're out cruising on the bay?
Ooh, I need to talk to him about that because there was an issue last time with something spilling. I didn't know about this, but something spilled on the carpet last time, and I didn't know anything about it. And we talked about it on the call I had with them. So we have to, whoever we choose to bring food, they have to have a conversation with.
Okay.
Well, we lock in the more importantly than food for me. Did we lock in alcohol yet?
Well, I thought I thought you said you had it out to two different.
I did, but Browner said the only thing we have to worry about is food. So I was like, wait, did I miss something?
No. I meant that's the thing we don't have covered. I said the only thing we have to worry about, assuming that you had the beer covered.
Cool.
Okay. Well, hey, listen, I'm just going to throw out an idea here, but I'm looking over my shoulder and I see El Pollo Grill. Victor.
Well, let's not like freak out too much because this is a 2-hour cruise.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We don't need a buffet of food. We just need a couple of we need some
hors
pig shots. That's what we need. I did talk to Brian for. We need some pig shots. We need some bacon wrapped
You know
sausage.
what Brian could do? Because I'm just gonna say no to bringing open flame on a wooden boat. That's just me.
Okay, smart idea by you.
I would just say, Brian, pre-cook bring it. How about that?
Well, I don't know that Brian's really a caterer per se. So
no, he's not. No.
So anyway, listen, I'll tell you this right now. I'll just say this really quickly. For everybody that's watching on TV, everybody that's watching on YouTube, everybody that's listening on radio, and everybody that's listening on audio podcast, westcoastbbqshop.com is the website. And West Coast Barbecue Shop is down in Chula Vista, 2330 Proctor Valley Road. And if you are thinking about a big green egg for your holiday cooking season, if you're thinking about a new grill, I was talking to Alex about this last night. That is absolutely going to be my housewarming gift for Alex and Mar, is to get them a new grill from westcoastbbqshop.com or westcoastbbqshop.com. And so if you're looking for a new grill, you're looking for a new big green egg, you're looking for one of those pizza ovens. He's got these pizza ovens that he imported from Italy. So if you've got a backyard, oh, dude, they are bomb. If you want a big old pizza oven for your backyard, come on down to westcoastbbqshop.com. Again, 2330 Proctor Valley Road, and see our man Brian Bushfield. So anyway, we started talking about the whole, December 11th, Next Level Sailing cruise with Captain Fathom and Captain Troy, and then it turned into West Coast BBQ Shop. All right, let me ask you guys a question. Alex, this is usually where you say question. Thank you. Last night, in watching the Monday Night Football game, and I said we were going to talk about Phillip Rivers joining the Manning cast. Are you watching the ESPN2 Manning broadcast, or are you watching the ESPN original Lou Riddick, Steve Levy, Brian Greasy standard NFL broadcast? What are you guys watching?
Do you know what is funny about last night's broadcast? I only watched the main broadcast because I never saw the guest list before I went to watch the Manning cast. When I saw the guest list, I went, nah, I'd rather watch the normal broadcast. And I never even turned to it. Not one time I enjoyed the normal broadcast as usual because I didn't like the guest list. So I think the guest list kind of,
It's so funny you say that because I thought the guest list last night was really, really good. You know, I'm a huge Al Michaels fan. You know how much I love Al.
right?
Phil Mickelson, I thought would be interesting. Draymond Green, I thought would be interesting also because
No
they don't have an
thanks.
active NBA player or they don't have an active NFL player because of the Manning cast curse. So the fact that they were going to have Draymond Green on when Golden State has been so good in the early part of the season, I thought that was interesting. And lastly, and probably the one thing I was most interested in, and it didn't happen until late in the game, having Phillip Rivers come in as a guest. I thought that was super interesting. And one of the things that came out of the Phillip Rivers interview was why he wears the bolo tie, which again I thought was fascinating. Alex, what about you? Browner's watching the standard broadcast. I'm watching the Manning cast pretty much exclusively throughout the game. What about you? What are you watching?
Oh, there's no pretty much for me. I am Manning cast 100% all the way. Never tuned into regular ESPN. Not even for a second.
I went back and forth just for a little bit, but what I love about the Manning cast is I love to see Peyton and Eli and their natural reaction to things. Just like the rest of us who are sitting at home, like, why would he throw that ball? Or how could he drop that? Or what's wrong with this guy? I mean, for example, you know, Van Jefferson has a touchdown pass in his hands in the end zone, can't hold on to it, falls out of bounds. There were so many plays in this game where you're like, how did that happen? Why did that happen? And I just love Eli and Peyton's ongoing back and forth and their natural reactions. And I don't understand why Peyton feels it's so important that he eats at halftime. You know, like you could eat before the game, you could probably eat after the game, but Peyton thinks it's urgent that he eats every week at halftime. Last week, he's munching on this chicken like nonstop, and Eli's giving him all kinds of heat about it. And this past week, he's eating a salad, and Eli's like, how much lettuce can you put in your mouth at one time? Watching little brother give big brother a hard time is so great. And I love the stories along the way. They had Draymond on, and Eli started telling Draymond about how bad of a basketball player Peyton was in high school. And I just find the stories to be incredible. So it's funny that you don't watch the Manning cast, Browner, because I'm kind of with Alex here. I am like 98% on the Manning cast and about 2% on the regular standard broadcast.
No, I like
last
it.
week-
I like it.
Go
I
ahead.
just the guest didn't do anything for me. None. Al Michaels is
Rivers?
great. Don't get me wrong. Al Michaels is great. I'm Phillip Rivers does nothing for me. The shucks golly, you can keep it. It's all
You're
for
a
you.
Charger. You're Mr. Charger. You're
No,
LA
no, no, no.
Brown.
Listen, no, I'm a
He's
Herb
Herbolt.
Bolt. Don't get it confused, baby. I'm Herb Bolt, LA. Herb Bolt, bruh.
I got to tell
Don't
you
do
what,
that.
dude. I got to tell you, I actually would prefer less guests.
Yes, exactly.
I think
don't wanna-
I prefer the Manning cast when they're not forced to ask Al Michaels questions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's certain guests that there is a nice flow. Like Phil Mickelson totally flipped the script on them yesterday and just asked them a bunch of questions. Like he came prepared. He came with like I'm gonna do this. It was so forced the Al Michaels stuff that it just was like I don't need this right now. And I love Al Michaels. I'd rather listen to Al Michaels do play, not be asked his golf game and some dude I've never heard before. So sometimes I feel like 4 guests is a lot. You know, the Draymond thing, I didn't really need it. I'm sure the Warriors are going to lose tonight because the Manning curse is real. And they're playing the Nets.
The Charles
but
Barkley
yeah.
as a guest was good though.
Yeah, there's certain times where like, yeah, that's
Right.
cool. But the need to have 4 guests I don't need it. I don't need
You
it.
know,
I don't
you know
mind
the-
it. I don't need it.
You know the one small issue with the Manning cast though is, and we experience this, so we can appreciate where they're coming from. It's the delays.
Yeah.
You know, you would think it's ESPN, it's the Manning brothers. They got a lot of money invested into this. You would think there's a way to do it, but you know, everybody in the world now, even television networks, are working off of Zoom, and so there's this delay. And like with Draymond, there was a time I couldn't tell if his microphone was stuck in his sweatshirt and we couldn't understand a word he was saying, or if it was just, you know, a Wi-Fi issue. I actually like the Al Michaels thing. Maybe it's just because I'm biased because I love Al, but I love the Al Michaels stories about golf. I thought that was kind of cute, and I really love it.
I'm tuning in to watch Peyton's freakouts. I'm tuning in to watch their their deep dive on certain parts of the game that I find entertaining, that deep level of sport. I didn't tune in to hear an interview show while I'm trying to watch a football game, I guess. And when I saw the guest list, I just went, no, I'm okay. I'll pass. I'll go back to the regular thing.
See, I really liked it. Now, here's the thing. If you are an old school San Diego Charger fan, one of the things that came up last night was Eli saying to Phillip Rivers, tell us about the Bolo tie. And Phillip Rivers told a story last night that none of us have ever heard before. And when I say none of us, I mean, I actually started following on Twitter lots of people who covered the Chargers back when they were in San Diego. I'd never heard the story of why Phillip Rivers wore the Bolo tie. Now, Browner, do you know why Phillip Rivers wore the Bolo tie?
Because he's country.
No, but there's more to the story. Do you know why he wore the Bolo tie?
No. I didn't watch. I don't know. I just thought he was country and he was poorly dressed.
No. It's and now you don't know because you didn't watch the Manning cast. I know. You don't know.
My life's okay. My life's okay that I didn't know that.
Really? Alex, were you surprised when you heard Phillip Rivers explain why the Bolo tie?
Yeah, I actually wanted if I was asking these questions and then Rivers said why, I would then have a lot more other questions after that.
Yeah,
Did it change your life?
Enough.
Yeah.
Did it change your life knowing the answer to that question? Or is your life changed?
I don't know if I'd say my life has changed, but
Did you
definitely
buy any Bolo ties yesterday?
Well, I've had a Bolo tie because when Phillip Rivers made the Bolo tie kind of cool years ago, I remember getting one and wearing one. This is probably 2012-ish. I can remember rocking a Bolo tie because
I had a
Phil had
Rivers
it.
Bolo tie T-shirt that I
Yeah.
threw away when the Chargers left San Diego.
Do we have the comment as to him explaining this story? Go ahead and play it.
Was just a straight Mike McCoy. I was just trying to buck the system. North Turner, we had to dress nice on the road, but he wasn't real hard on, hey, slacks and a collared shirt. You're good on the road. But McCoy got there, he said coat and tie, no exceptions. And Charlie Whitehurst and I got in the quarterback room, and he said, hey, you ought to go a Bolo tie. He didn't say what kind of tie, so that's where that originated. And then it kind of took off from there. So my wife hates the Bolo tie. I even teased her about I should go Bolo tonight. She said, you're crazy.
You should have. We could have been matching. That would have been awesome.
I'm telling you. I think that's the exact
and
one
then
I wore. I wore that one, Eli.
So in the meantime, the fact that Phillip Rivers, who most of us kind of consider like a really angelic sort of good guy, he says, no, I wore the Bolo tie to buck the system because Mike McCoy was so uptight. Norv Turner was a real professional coach. Doesn't mean he was a successful professional coach, but he'd been on enough staffs and had enough success in his career and knew how to treat NFL players like grown men. He's like, hey, guys, look, dress clean, put on a pair of nice slacks, put on a collared shirt, and you'll be fine. Mike McCoy, though, young guy, first-time head coach, he comes in and he's laying down the law. When we travel as the Chargers, you put on a coat and a shirt and a tie. No exceptions. And Phillip Rivers, rather than just saying, hey, that's what the coach wants to do, that's what we should all do. Phillip Rivers like, that is so stupid that I'm going to buck the system by coming up with something ridiculous. And that was his protest to Mike McCoy. And I thought to myself, that is so Chargers. Hire a coach, first shot at being a head coach, young guy who wants to come in and lay down the law. Rather than worrying about the more important things, no, what's important is we're a bunch of college kids dressed the way I tell you to dress. I thought that story was fascinating last night. It's why I love the Manning cast.
I thought my favorite part of the Manning cast last night was finally the fact they acknowledged the Manning cast curse. They asked Phil about it, and that was my favorite part because it's a real curse. And if you guys don't believe in it, then you're not
Going
paying
around,
attention.
people are talking about this thing called the Manning curse, where apparently if you come on this show, if you're an active football player, the next week you lose the game. And can you kind of just do us a favor and tell people that there's no such thing as a curse, that that's not a real thing?
No, I believe that it is a thing, and that's why I'm not playing next week. I didn't know if it would carry over into golf or not. I think it's real.
I love that. Phil Mickelson was hilarious last night. I do believe in the Manning curse. I'm not playing next week. I don't want to lose.
Yep.
Taking the week off.
What if has crossover like strength tonight? Honestly, like what Draymond loses tonight, because you now have to add him to the active player curse,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I think so. I
think
fully
so, too.
expect the Warriors are going to lose tonight. They're playing against Brooklyn, right? And so you got to figure that tonight Golden State's going to lose, and the Manning cast curse is going to start to pick up even more steam. Now, if Golden State wins, then we might conclude that the Manning cast curse is only on active NFL players.
Exclusive
it doesn't
to
have
football.
crossover. Yeah.
Right, exclusive to football.
What do you think is going to happen, Brown?
I don't believe in curses. I think the Nets are going to win because the Nets are better, but I don't believe in curses, man.
Well, you should. And
Why?
you know why? You know what my favorite part about the Manning cast is, honestly, like just as a whole, is that it's very like Gen Z. Like I don't have to pay attention to what they're saying. Like I'm on my phone. I'm doing other things. Like if I'm sitting there and like I'm actually like focused, which I never am during anything,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm gonna learn something that's really cool. They do break down the stuff, but what I love about it is like, okay, like Draymond's on. I was on my phone most of the time, and I still like I'm watching the game, learning about the play. I don't need like Brian Greasy telling me that the 4-5 step drop back of Matthew Stafford is in against a B line get rush. Like I don't like it doesn't really do anything for me.
I don't like
I
Brian
think
Greasy either.
I think what the reason the Mannings are so successful because they talk football, but they even Al Michael said this. They use English.
Mm.
They use
My
football.
I'll say this: my 19-year-old daughter was watching the game with me last night, and she said, "What are we watching? Why are these two guys? Why are they the brothers on TV?" She didn't call them like Peyton and Eli. She's like, "Why are they on TV? What are they doing?" And so me and my son are like, "Oh, this is called the Manning Cast, and it's the two brothers watching the football game together and bringing in various guests along the way." And my 19-year-old daughter said, "This is really cool and different and new and interesting." And so when you say it's very Gen Z, I definitely think that watching a game broadcast with two people who are not really necessarily purely just commenting on the game, it kind of reminds me of like I remember when my kids were a little bit younger, they would watch this guy called Ninja on Twitch playing whatever video game it was. What video game was? What's the video game that he plays though?
Fortnite.
So I was like, wait a second. You're watching a video, like not live. You're watching a video of a dude playing a video game. And they're like, yeah. And sometimes it was on Twitch. I think sometimes it was on YouTube. But the kids are watching another kid play a video game.
That guy's low.
That guy's
so
what?
loaded.
Oh,
So
he's
loaded.
So famous now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So think about it. If you're a kid, if you're a teenager and you're watching Peyton and Eli watch a football game and interview their friends and just mess around and give each other a bunch of crap, I mean, it is very Gen Z.
Did you guys know that so ESPN has the Monday Night Football pregame show with was it Randy Moss, Steve Young, Booger, right? So they have the pregame show. Do you guys know who the ESPN2 pregame show is?
No.
Where the Manning cast is?
I felt like it was the same pregame show on both channels, was it not?
It's Steve Levy, Louis Riddick, and Brian Greasy.
No.
They intro the Manning cast.
That's dumb and degrading.
Wait,
I don't know if it's a full-on pregame show, but I tuned in 10 minutes, put it on like on the TV, like just kind of doing whatever. And Levy, Louis Riddick, Brian Greasy are on TV up until the Manning cast, and Steve goes, "Here come the Mannings," and then they go do their own broadcast.
You know who I also like on television? Alex Smith. Replace Brian Greasy with Alex Smith. I won't watch the Manning cast anymore.
I'll bet you he's on ESPN also. He's kind of got like a part-time role on Monday Night Football. I think you're right. I think Alex Smith is the much more contemporary, number one. And number two, he's so well liked and respected because of his injury and his comeback.
He's got a very smooth, calm delivery.
Yeah, I like Alex Smith. I could see Alex Smith as being in position, good looking, inspirational story, fantastic playing career. I could see Alex Smith being the guy that they're grooming to take over for a Brian Creasy. That'd be my guess.
He's terrible, man. He is terrible.
Well, he didn't have this monster
so
career.
bad, why do you not watch the Manning cast?
Because I didn't like the guest. I literally did not like the guest. And I watched it with the sound on.
I'm surprised. They got an NBA player for you.
I'm not a Draymond Green guy, man.
I know. And they give you Phillip Rivers, but you're a Herbolt fan. I know you don't want anything to do with Phil Mickelson because you have nothing to do with golf.
Right.
And you probably don't like Al Michaels.
Because you don't know who he is.
I mean, if we're being honest.
You can pick him out of a lineup. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
He could come on the show next. I'd be like, who is this guy again?
All right, stick around, everybody. We are in the 7 Mile Casino studios. John Clayton will go deeper into the NFL. Our NFL Insider Report with John Clayton coming up next. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio.
SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
We don't ask a lot from you. Just 16 measly hours a day.
That's it.
Buy some earbuds. Listen at work, in meetings, on the way home, talking to the wife, or helping the kids with homework.
They'll admire your stick-to-itiveness.
This is the mightier 1090 AM.
Great things can be achieved when a community comes together. Join Erica Cardenas on Doing More as she introduces you to ordinary people working side by side to confront tremendous challenges and make a positive impact in their community.
Watch Doing More Sunday night at 6 on Your View or stream it online at yourview.com. Sponsored by The Burns Firm, partnering with Shelter to Soldier and saving lives 2 at a time. Visit theburnsfirm.com/shelter-to-soldier and help save more lives.
Still on his feet, Jared Williams Swift is in the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats. He's in the 40. Is he going to go? Holds it in. What a catch. Big return left sidelines off to the races. He flipped the defender into the end zone. He's got a man. Wildcat. That was pretty.
Game Time High School Football on Your View is brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more. Just off I-8 in El Cajon.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts and discover how our daily choices affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for healthier living. Your Health, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on Your View and yourview.com. Your Health is brought to you by Save the Storks. Help us reach the hearts of women with compassion, education, and holistic care.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Orange County Soccer Club is headed back to the Western Conference Finals. OCSC outlasted the Oakland Roots 6-5 in sudden death penalty kicks on Saturday in the semis after 120 minutes of scoreless soccer. It was none other than Ronaldo Damus that scored the deciding goal in penalty kicks. Now, that deciding goal did come with some drama. Damus' shot was blocked, but it was ruled that Oakland goalkeeper Paul Blanchett had come off his line prior to Damus making contact with the ball, and Damus got the retake. The win was OCSC's 7th win in a row. Through those 7 wins, they have only allowed 1 goal from open play. OCSC will host the Western Conference Championship against San Antonio FC on Saturday. It is San Antonio's first conference final in club history.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Down opinion, Scott Kaplan says test it on cited.co. Yes.co. SoCal Sports Talk. The all-new and mightier 1090.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on your health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts and discover how our daily choices affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for healthier living. Your Health, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on YourView and YourView.com. Brought to you by La Mesa Rehab, improving the lives of those afflicted by chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Learn more at LaMesaRehab.com.
Wilsey Asset Management is an investment advisory firm registered with the SEC. We're a firm that's a fiduciary firm, and we manage $500 million in assets for clients and businesses nationwide. We do better when our clients do better. You want to have a win-win situation. And I saw the same thing with charities. Some of the charities that we're involved in would include Crews for Kids. Another organization that we really helped a lot was Children's Hospital. And there's also other organizations that we help as well in addition to those.
Kind of growing up and seeing how involved my dad was in the community, it really rubbed me, I'm going to say, in the right way. I did kind of take that one step further, I would say, and actually did start my own charity. It's called the Fighters Fight Foundation. What we do is we actually provide experiences to women that are battling stage 3 or stage 4 breast cancer. Our charity is not just about providing the experiences for women, it's also too on educating people. If you want to get involved in the foundation, you can go to our website, fightersfightfoundation.com.
At La Jolla Cosmetic, we try to help people achieve well-being, and we feel that it's not only important to look good, but also feel good inside. And honestly, what a better opportunity to help my community than being a supporter of an organization such as Las Patronas.
The mission of Las Patronas is to provide financial assistance to local nonprofits that are providing valuable community services in the areas of health, education, social services, and cultural arts. La Jolla Cosmetic has been one of our biggest supporters at Las Patronas, so we couldn't do what we do without their support.
You feel the need and you see the need because we go to visit each grant applicant.
Partnering with groups that are actually dedicated to help your community, it's the best thing that you can do as a responsible business.
Shelter to Soldier is 9 years young with a mission to save lives 2 at a time. We're adopting dogs from local shelters, training them for post 9/11 combat veterans, and we're able to donate these trained dogs to deserving veterans in need.
You know, I was in a very dark place. I was having suicidal thoughts, and I really needed an immediate help. We don't know if tomorrow is going to be there for us.
Shelter to Soldier is a nonprofit, and we're able to do the work that we do because of you, the community. Whether it's an individual donating $5 or whether it's a corporate donor like the Barnes firm that's supporting us and sponsoring multiple dogs that are going to make an impact in the veterans' lives in need.
Him by my side 24/7 has completely turned my life around. It's not just saving both of our lives, it has made an impact on myself, Nigel, my family, my work. So yes, they definitely have saved our lives.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 and YourView, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Wilsey Asset Management is an investment advisory firm registered with the SEC. We're a firm that's a fiduciary firm, and we manage $500 million in assets for clients and businesses nationwide. We do better when our clients do better. You want to have a win-win situation. And I saw the same thing with charities. Some of the charities that we're involved in would include Crews for Kids. Another organization that we really helped a lot was Children's Hospital. And there's also other organizations that we help as well in addition to those.
Kind of growing up and seeing how involved my dad was in the community, it really rubbed me, I'm going to say, in the right way. I did kind of take that one step further, I would say, and actually did start my own charity. It's called the Fighters Fight Foundation. What we do is we actually provide experiences to women that are battling stage 3 or stage 4 breast cancer. Our charity is not just about providing the experiences for women, it's also too on educating people. If you want to get involved in the foundation, you can go to our website, fightersfightfoundation.com.
Attention, all dogs, cats, horses, tortoises, birds, pigs, and all other pets. Get your family members to sit, stay, and watch Animal Zone every Saturday at 9 p.m. right here on this channel and at animalzone.org.
Tune in Saturdays at 9 p.m. to watch Animal Zone right here on Your View.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.